to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pone ain't drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message, hit the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi-Pone Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try and force in some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. These boys are second to none. Now that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
Hey guys, welcome to Trinity Force Podcast. You're listening to episode number 342. We are talking about patch 6.5 once again. We're going to answer some listener questions as well. And we're going to roll into the soothing, awesome, amazing adjective voice of Talinasty.
Hey, what is going on?
I couldn't think of any other awesome adjectives on the top of my head. I'm terrible at this.
I also did not know you were going to call on me with that intro.
Yeah, that really was not clear.
Every day. Punch is here.
Yep,
oh, hey, there's family down in the basement. Hold on. Oh, your hair looks beautiful. Everybody in the podcast land, I apologize. I have a little girl and a...
You look very lovely.
You look very lovely. You look very lovely, little girl. For those of you listening to podcast land, there is... Come here. There is a little 6-year-old girl who has had her hair straightened, so everyone can tell her that she's beautiful. Yes, you are very beautiful.
That is wonderful.
Now run along. Run along.
Now get out of here,
Dad's
scamp.
doing a podcast. Punch is here, too.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Mitch is here.
With way worse hair than her. It's terrible.
You need to do something with it. Maybe put a little product in it.
I went to the gym. My bad. I forgot to put on product after I went to the gym for this podcast.
Yeah,
it's
you
my
got
bad, guys.
Facts.
Hey, at least this isn't 2013 when Chira had to wear a tie.
What? And then I just stopped doing it.
We all
That
just
was
eventually
great.
stopped.
Yeah, you were like,
Did y'all
we're gonna
used to get
bring
dressed up on the podcast?
we're gonna bring the Trinity Force Network up to the next level of professionalism, said Adam Ponophobia Cogswell for a solid week and a half.
No, it was a good solid.
He ran out of ties.
It was like a good solid 4 or 5 months, maybe a little longer.
I enjoyed it.
Punch had the tie up for a little
That
while
was
too. Didn't you?
that was during the time Dom was giving you constant fashion advice,
Well, that's
which
true.
you needed.
I think my first couple episodes I tried to like wear a dress shirt or something, and then I saw y'all wearing jack shit. So
You're wearing a polo. You're doing better than
I just
us.
came from work. I mean, like,
Yeah, normally I don't know. I come home, take my polo off, throw on a jacket, and as you can see tonight, Ninja Turtles. All right, I have patch notes somewhere. I should probably actually open Slack up to get everything.
Oh, Cheers here too.
Yeah, I made it. And
cheer-
my,
Oh, yeah,
my,
yeah.
My
Jeez,
hair
what
is
is
pretty
this?
great too. Thanks for noticing.
I kind of figured the
this episode's off to a great
the
start.
call of Chira Jaden would get you all in the mood and everything.
We're in the mood, all right.
I am scrolling up here
What are you scrolling for, bro?
We're
to
real
find
organized.
my notes that I talked about earlier today. Because I
The
am
notes
prepared.
that I
The
definitely
argument
didn't
over
read.
Auschwitz.
Found them. We are good to
What's
go.
her name?
I'm
Alsop.
going to throw this out here. Here's the one note I want to throw out that we're going to talk about, sponsors and stuff at the end of the show. First and foremost, thank you guys for supporting us on Patreon this month. Your donations have already started or have been sent to our mailbox. You guys have all the Champion Select episodes. If you don't have it, message me. We'll make sure that you get it, or we'll make sure to figure out why you don't have it. Mitch, do we know any of the champions coming up this month?
Yeah, I am recording Wukong this Sunday with one of my old friends from VG. If you guys watched this when like me and Kargan were shoutcasting, Aaron was a play-by-play shoutcaster. I think he was Challenger 3s. He was Diamond in solo queue. So should be fun. Good friend of mine. So I think it'll be an amusing podcast.
Doom will be happy.
Do we have a second one?
I have a few options. So
Okay.
I'm also waiting to hear back from Doom to see if he gets some of his contacts that we were discussing.
Yeah, and as Punch just said, Doom will be happy about the Wukong episode to learn.
Yeah, I know. So I'm quid pro quo there a little bit for him.
on March 26th, that's what, 2 weeks from now? Yeah, well, kind of 3 weekends, but 2 weeks. It's roughly 2.5 because this weekend's the 12th. So the 26th, starting at roughly 5 or 6 p.m. Numbers will come next podcast. We have to smooth everything out. We are running a inter-network tournament that day where we will take donations to make us do stupid shit. It's our podcast, PAX podcast fundraising event.
Wait, is it just are we bringing in other podcasts?
No, Internetwork.
Intranetwork.
Sorry.
It's going to be us crushing the other
I was
shows.
confused. Like, wait, I thought we just did one of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we did. Yeah, we did. So that would be inter podcast or intra podcast. It'd be an intra podcast.
Intranetwork. Intranetwork. Inside of our own network.
Right.
Inter-network would be outside of
Okay.
other networks.
Like intramurals.
Like intranet and internet. It makes sense.
Yes.
Put it in Geek
From the
Talk,
IT
you'll
person.
understand it.
Okay, we are doing an intra-network tournament where we're going to have TFP, LCS Rundown, 4 Wards, Battle Arena, Shoutcasters, Champions
Select, on
whatever.
me versus everybody.
No, you get
That'd be great.
you can get former guests.
That would be...
That would be
feel like
that would be
No, you can't. It's
Got it.
podcast network only. There's 60 of us within the podcast network, so there'll be plenty of teams. We're going to be playing all night. Donations that come in during that time will affect how we play. So if you want to donate $10 to make us play Frozen Mallet, we'll fucking play with only Frozen Mallets. It's up to you. So join us on March 26th.
We'll build 6 Frozen Mallets.
We'll do it for donations.
That'd be great.
But make the donations reasonable. And we'll kind of have like a tier list of kind of like ideas of, how you can donate. And again, all that money is going to help us get out to PAX because we have a big PAX announcement coming. We just have to make sure that we have everything solidified with that before that is taken care of. But you guys will really enjoy our PAX information here in the future. So that is it. That is all the announcements. That is 7 minutes worth. Let's push right forward into talk because I want to talk about Soraka on this new patch. If you guys haven't started crunching the numbers yet, then... hey, this is the podcast for you.
Then we did it for you.
That's right.
I don't know
So,
if-
go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'll just let that lie, I guess. I don't know if we're known for successfully crunching numbers.
We're known for crunching some numbers, not
on
correctly.
the fly. Attempting to on the fly and seeing how we do. And it's
We kind of
usually like
smush the numbers.
70% of the time we're right.
Smush reality too. Oh yeah, Q procs grasp guys.
Oh, yep.
Oh yeah, do you want to eat some humble
Adam, what
pie
fever
there?
dream
We have to
compelled
make a
you to
retractment
make
from
those
last
statements?
episode, Adam.
I'm not listening. I don't have all my notes put together because
This isn't a note. I don't think this is a very difficult note unless you wrote a
We're having
concession
an
speech.
intervention.
I honestly didn't hear a damn thing you guys said. I tuned it out as I was looking for my notes. So.
Grasp.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's how I'll eat my grass pat. That's right. The non-hit effects or the effects that don't apply on hits don't proc grasp. So that means Pantheon Q, Darius Q don't proc it. I thought it did because I could have swore I saw it, but hey, what I saw is not correct. So that means that GPQ, however, does proc it because that procs on hit effects. And Punch brought up a good point about Poppy as well.
Yep, Poppy's passive procs as well. Counts as a melee attack, so you get the full 3%.
There you go. So you remember that as you're using grass. They still were powerful for other reasons, but we needed to fix that before the show went on. So we're going to talk about Soraka. As you guys know, Soraka has been changed so that, she is more interactive, essentially, and she does potentially less healing, less burst healing. Now it is some burst with some overtime. And the numbers have been crunched for that, and we wanted to bring those up and talk to you guys about it so you kind of have an understanding of how to use Soraka. So one of the main things here is that if you have both skills, so we're going to assume both skills, Q and W, are rank 1. She has 0 AP, and she's healing an ally. She will heal for 2 more health if you hit Q on an enemy first than she previously did, like for the total duration. So if she lands Q and then presses W on an ally, she will heal at rank 1, no AP at all. She will heal for 2 more health over the full duration of it, which can only mean it scales, harder. So as you add AP to it, it starts healing for more. Like if you add 15 AP quints, or not 15 AP, 3 AP quints, no other AP, you will heal for 46.55 health more than Soraka's W used to at level 1.
So one thing I didn't think about when we were first talking about this is that removing or changing it away from burst healing was also true for her Q, because she used to get that healing back all at once, and now that, let's say you hit a Q in lane but you're at full health, you're now getting a little bit more rewarded for hitting that. Not just because you get that buff to give to your ally, but that buff is ticking on you after you use some of your health to give to the ally. So you're getting healing that you wouldn't normally have gotten previously, back ticking that you only lost health because you healed your ally, but you had the Q buff going. So now you regen some of that, whereas in the past you wouldn't have gotten the same thing. You would have had to
there's
use
some
W
small-
first
that's
and
a good
then
point.
Q later.
Small interactions where it's actually more beneficial than it used to be.
Yeah.
Some more numbers to toss at the people out there. It's still beneficial to max W over Q because of the flat amount of healing. Right? If you max W, you will do 242 plus 30% ability power. If you max Q, you'll do 190 plus 50% ability power. So if you land a Q, then W, you'll heal for 190 plus 50%. If you max W and then land a Q, you do 242 plus 30% health for the full duration of it. So it's better to max W with no AP at all, just because the flat healing is still better if you don't land Q. Not better than previous, but better than the two on live as they are.
Yeah, and
So-
you're not getting any more, like, you also... it's interesting because you're getting, like, you don't gain any cooldown reduction from Q anymore from ranking it. It's flat 5 seconds across the board. You don't get that mana cost increase also, which was kind of one of the reasons that people might not go Q early previously, because the mana cost kept going up by a significant amount. Getting up to 90 at rank 5 is pretty tough to... It's even tough to spam when you're in lane at 70, and now it's down to 40 at all ranks, which is pretty incredible. So I want to tinker around with this a little bit, because when you're able to spam it a bit more, maybe you're trying to use that as more poke than just, like, we're saying we're not going to be completely heal bot-esque. Maybe now you're trying to deal some damage, so you're trying to, I don't know, get more of those Qs off, and maybe putting more points in it just so you can say, I'm a presence in lane, but then after like 2 or 3 points, when you're not going to be doing as much damage as you would early game, you maybe back off and say, all right, it's maxing W after that point.
Yeah. Well, something to keep in mind when you're talking about healing, being a heal bot. Think of it like Druid or a Druid in WoW where you had regrowth, because that's essentially what W is. And since you're able to spam it, as you put points in W, the cooldown does go down with each rank that you put into it. And with some cooldown reduction, you can get maxed out. Its base cooldown is only 2 seconds. It will be even less with cooldown reduction. So you can get that down to like 1.25 seconds, right, with max cooldown reduction. You can spread that love across your entire team, because as long as you land a Q, that rejuvenation stays on you, and as long as you have rejuvenation, you can pass that rejuvenation on to anybody you hit. So you can spread that healing over time love to everybody on your team, assuming the burst isn't too much for you to handle, which is I think is really powerful, especially in a siege.
It's really nice, especially if people can back off and come back, re-enter fights. Like, you can do a pretty decent amount of healing to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think another cool thing is that you're going to be getting a lot of CDR anyways. So if you, like, first of all, you can now apply that rejuvenation to multiple targets in a fight if your W is low enough, if you get enough points into W, because it lasts 4 seconds on Soraka. As long as it is on you when you hit W, they'll get that 3 to 5 second buff, depending on the rank of W. And then in addition to that, if you get enough CDR, you can constantly have that buff on you if you keep hitting star calls, because it's 5 seconds CD, 4 seconds of the buff on Soraka. I think you only need 20% CDR, and you can have that up constantly if you're hitting your Qs on anybody. So it's way more. I like this a lot. I still don't. I need to try
Still
Soraka
nerd,
out now, but she seems more interesting and fun than kind of mindless.
I guess it's how are you quantifying nerfs or qualifying it? I mean, I guess that you qualified as a nerf.
Well,
How do
there's
you
a lot more
quantify it as a
counterplay
nerf?
now. You can't just
Yeah.
sit at the far back and spam heals, and that's all you really need to do to carry. Like, now you actually have to put yourself in danger, which means more counterplay. So and even
makes
at like the fringe
particularly
cases,
for team fights.
yeah, and even at the fringe cases, you're doing as much healing as you used to be at like the best case scenario. Whereas
I wanna bring up
before,
that
your best case
distinction
scenario
because-
was yeah.
Because in laning phase, you still need to hit Qs in order to keep healing. I mean, if her ADC kept getting railed on and she had to heal him over and over again, she was going to run out of health. She needed to hit the Qs in order to sustain herself in lane. But like you were saying, in team fights, yeah, she could stay in the back line, just heal everybody else for days.
Right.
And
And
possibly not now.
It's,
That's
just-
the
I-
idea.
I-
shouldn't be.
it's going to
she
be a
has
lot
to
less
be
burst.
way more active now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
She's
the
got
idea.
that plus
I'm not convinced yet.
the kite ability of her, I think, is kind of like a kite ability with a single target that you're trying to keep safe, like a Kog'Maw or just a hyper carry in general, if you're hitting Q, it's automatically going to slow whoever is on top of them if you're hitting that. Then when you hit the W when you have that buff, you give the W buff to your target that needs to be safe. They also get that 15% movement away from enemy champions, which is pretty cool and new for that like more reward side of things. Like you're getting the easier slow to hit because it used to just be the center. Now it's the whole thing slows. And you get that movement away from enemy champions. 15% is a big chunk that you're just getting for free if you can hit that Q, and it's pretty easy to hit when you're close by to them, or if they're on top of your ally, you just throw a Q and an E on your ally, they're gonna get rooted. Just get out of the fight pretty easily.
Don't the allies get sped up too if you land a Q and then W them?
Yes, that's what I was saying. Is that your
you
hyper
had mentioned that she gets sped up, and she does.
But yeah, so do they. They do
she
also get
spreads that. Yeah.
And I don't think that's something that people are going to be aware that if Soraka has her healing over you, that you are sped up as long as you're running away from the enemies.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like the opposite of Tahm Kench, I believe. Because Tahm Kench, I think does he get movement towards enemy champions? But
I'd just say the opposite of Vayne, who gets movement speed toward champions.
Yeah.
Easier way to put it.
Or Volibear, or there's a lot of them actually. Surprising amount of them. I think about it.
Janna running Tailwind, running towards
Janna, yeah.
Get movement speed. Right. I'm curious to see how she's going to work. I wish I had the numbers in front of me for Windspeaker's Blessing and to see how that...
It's 10%.
I know, but adding that number...
I was wondering
we were just looking at base with no masteries or no runes.
Does Windspeakers, and I don't know, does it amplify the new healing mechanic? Because I would think so, but it's a buff and it's not like a straight heal. I don't know of any other buffs that give you healing over time.
Wouldn't it increase the total amount of healing she's doing spread out between the buff?
Total amount of heal done.
Yeah, that was my question. I mean, it seems like it would, but the more I'm reading about it, it's like maybe it's classified as a buff that gives you extra regen. I don't think Windspeakers gives you extra regen. I don't know. I'm sure it does, but it's just something that doesn't really seem 100% clear.
Sean, sit closer to your mic.
What would the regen be? Like plus 100 regen over 2 seconds?
That's what it is, essentially. I could see it being either. I could see Windspeakers applying or not, and I could see
obviously it'd apply on the burst
to defend either one. I could see ways to defend either side of that, and I think it actually might be too strong if it affects the damage over time, or sorry, the healing over time. Because like you're getting all that armor and MR for free then for a while.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And that would be 3 seconds after the last tick as it reads. So
yeah, so you'd get like 7 seconds of the Windspeakers. That's why I was kind of wondering. Since now they're classified as a buff, that part isn't getting amplified by Windspeakers. I don't know.
I would assume that it would not because shields counts as buffs though.
Shields you give to someone else, but this is a buff you're giving to someone else that happens to give them regen. Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you want to test this in game real quick?
I think we need to test the new Soraka tonight in a game and heal with her and see how she feels compared to old.
Yeah.
Chat's bringing up Ignite. And
I mean, you're gonna go Windspeakers either way, so us arguing about this isn't really like you're still gonna go it. Like this isn't gonna change anything. You go mastery wise. I can't see any other mastery you'd go.
Punch. You were saying
it was just interesting conjecture.
Do we know if this regen is self healing now? Since Ignite only affects self healing.
It'd be the
is this
healing.
a buff?
That would be kind of like the same.
Is this buff considered self healing? Because then Ignite would affect it. If not, then I don't think anybody knows.
I mean, it gets weird if it becomes a regen thing rather than like a heal from somebody else.
I mean, the Dorian in chat is saying that it does count as self-healing, but I mean, it's the source has got to be from Soraka,
right?
So I don't.
Soraka
I don't know.
Rejuvenation. I would assume since the target has rejuvenation, it would be considered self-healing at that point.
That'd be really.
You now have the buff on. It's not like. It's not like Soraka. I mean, you get a buff called Rejuvenation on you that heals you for over time. So that would be self-healing because it's not like Soraka is healing you over that amount of time. You're healing yourself with that buff.
But
so
she is the source of that buff.
She might be the source, but once it lands on you, it becomes your buff. Like you own the buff.
Same token, Ardent Censor would do the same thing. Then you'd get that attack speed and on hit buff for 7 seconds plus.
That's actually really good.
Plus, I don't know, 4 seconds plus 6 seconds after that, so 10 seconds. You could spread it around to 4 people.
That's a good point.
I'm testing some of that, but I mean, Ardent Censor would at least like both of those things would at least be able to give you burst amount of armor on ult too. Like that's already something that you got. That's not changing
Yeah,
from
wind speakers is something
last
you're gonna
patch.
get either way. Like I said, yeah.
I don't know what else you would possibly run. Like there's
Thunderlords.
nothing else that makes sense unless you're gonna go Warlord, so you can keep your health up because you're gonna get low on health, so you get all this life steal
And attack
you can turn that-
Ardent Censor wouldn't work if it is classified as self healing, which I think it is. Then Ardent Censor wouldn't continue to proc that because you're healing yourself.
Correct.
Soraka
On the
style.
same
Well, it
token,
also-
on the
it
same
would be the
token,
same
wind
thing.
speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm-
That's
we'll
the
find
reason
that
why I
out in a
brought it
second.
up. Yeah.
There we go. I think we ended that right there.
We could-
'cause if it's,
I'll know in a few seconds. So
We'll bounce back to it.
yeah, I'm 99% certain that it is considered your own buff. Which makes me wonder if we're ever going to see somebody with like Purge or buff steals or
Right.
something in the game.
oh yeah, that'd
Oh, a
be cool.
dispel spell or something.
Yeah, well, Shaman Purge was
siphon
it.
them.
I've never played a WoW, so this
Some
is-
sort of spell removal tool.
I'm
What was the other
using
one?
like
Spell Steal from mages. They could steal your buffs. Chira knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Same with what the I can't remember what the Death Knight ability is, but you can now it doesn't matter, but now you can glyph it so that it purges whenever you hit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's OP.
Yeah, the touch of frost or whatever it is. Not the not Frost Strike, but the other one.
I don't know. I haven't played
Different game.
yeah.
That's all right. If you guys want to talk about different games, go check out the T-Force GG patch, or excuse me, podcast.
Yeah, the patch. We patched ourselves.
We're patching our website to include other games.
Yeah, I'm throwing this out there. If you guys didn't hear and you guys like to play General Gaming, go check it out. It's T-Force GG or General Gaming. You can find them on TrinityForceNetwork.com. You can find them on iTunes. They just talk about. They have Joe Morrissey. If you remember Joe Morrissey from podcasts ago, where he was on here and it was the most hilarious episode and made us all pee our pants crying of laughter. He's actually on that show. Cargan's
those
on
pants.
there, Focal's on there, and Snagglewolf are all on that podcast.
Yeah, it's a good cast.
They're
very
actually
entertaining.
looking for people to write in because they have a bunch of game codes they want to give away too of games that they are talking about.
So if you hate free shit, don't write in.
yeah,
But if you want stuff
on the off
just
chance
for-
that you like free stuff,
I think
on
they're
the
giving
off
away
chance.
Street Fighter V at some point for the Xbox too. Like they have that in their queue to give away. So you should go listen to that if you're actually at all interested. Because I mean, they're brand new. They don't have a ton of listeners. Your chances of winning are very, 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 very high right now if you're writing in and listening. So let's go to move on. We'll talk about some more League of Legends discussion. We had talked a bit about Jarvan. Are there thoughts on Jarvan as making a return as top or mid lane? Man, that's kind of where I'm still leaning with these Jarvan changes. Is really top mid lane Jarvan.
I haven't played him since
Titanic
I haven't had a
Hydra?
chance yet. I still think that
Jerem's
he'll-
Fist.
I do think it would make sense.
I mean,
But,
it used to be played. It's not like it's unviable or anything like that, or it's not unthinkable. But I think that he
I'm
would.
gonna go
I
link
think
him
those.
to the old podcast with my
mean,
viability. Screw that. Go ahead.
All right, the Jarvan is he can EQ out, which is nice if you ever get ganked, unless you use it to go in and then you get ganked and then you're dead. But again, the mana issues, and I know they changed W so that it wasn't going to be as big of an issue, but
I still think this brings him back in the jungle before it brings him back anywhere else.
I would agree with that.
Not saying that it might not bring him back for both. I don't think it's enough to bring him to. I mean, like I said last podcast, it'll probably like raise his win percentage a little bit, couple like maybe 2 points. Maybe that brings him up to 49 or 50%. But this doesn't throw him over the edge. I don't think this makes him a must pick into any of the current metas.
It's not the must pick. It's just I think he'd be a solo queue monster in mid lane. You know, your Jerem's Fist and the Titanic Hydra into.
Well, Jarvan
what I
in
think.
mid
And then
has
you
been
just
good against people that
I know it has, but it
Don't know
makes
how to
this
play against
better.
it, yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like even we can talk about the silver win rate next. Just adding one little piece of the kit, like that, the W can crit and her win rate skyrocketed by like 4% or something.
Well, that makes sense. I said back then that was going to be pretty huge.
right, and that's what I think. Being able to do AOE damage with your Cataclysm is kind of a big buff for
mean,
somebody who
looking
gets
at-
ahead early,
Jarvan's win rate top right now is 49% anyway,
which isn't
so, like,
bad.
That's not bad at all. Like that's like in a perfect world, champions would have a 50%.
Is
win
that
rate.
after? Is that because of
No,
the
that's
recent
pre. That's pre changes.
Yeah, those changes wouldn't have updated, or those numbers wouldn't have updated. I think they probably update every 7 days or 6 days or something.
It's 3.
There you go.
Yeah, they haven't updated yet. So on the last patch worth of information.
Do you have mid lane
49
Jarvan right there?
What?
Mid lane Jarvan.
That was top lane. They
I
don't
know.
have a mid lane Jarvan because
Okay.
I don't think there's
So
enough.
yeah, 49%. So that's not terrible, but he's still below Yasuo top and the Heimer and Zac top, which you never see. I mean, I don't know.
Terrified of Heimer top. You Heimer mains.
Because that game we
Frighten
saw
me.
last night. Or
I
Monday.
actually, when my buddy Mr. Blatter played, he was like a Heimer top guy for ages, Heimer wherever, and the people who seem to play a lot of Heimer tend to do very well in lane as Heimer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a certain mindset. All right, so I don't see Jarvan mid anywhere on champion.gg, so he must not be there. But so back in season 2/3, I used to have a duo partner, and he would play if his main champion was banned out. He would play Jarvan mid all the time, and it was viable. You'd catch a lot of people out. We would smurf a lot, and you'd catch a lot of people off guard with his level 2 burst is really, really high.
He said viable again. I'm gonna win.
Are you
every
gonna-
time you say the word viable? Every champion is viable. You son of a bitch. Don't get me started on my goddamn. I don't know, my soapbox. Yes.
The other
Viability is a bad
Starting
word.
The nice thing about Jarvan too in mid is against squishy mages that don't have a dash to get out of Cataclysm, it's a guaranteed blowing of flash or kill if you can
Time it,
Cataclysm.
yeah, and you just do it again.
I'm interested to see if we will. I'm going to watch those numbers. I imagine they're going to go up to like 50. We'll say 50.5% just from those changes.
I bet they go
These
up.
buffs don't really help him mid lane though. They weren't like mid lane directed buffs.
No, they don't necessarily they don't help him mid lane, but it's not like they hurt him.
That's true.
Like
That's pretty much my argument for this entire thing. Is none of these buffs hurt him at all. They just
Yeah,
give
I
him
mean,
enough
it's
damage.
Role
Yeah.
dependent.
they're all buffs. It's just little things to make his life a little bit better. And again, for a champion like Jarvan, who always seems to be sitting on the edge of, hey guys, you forgot about Jarvan. Now he's back and he's chest bumping
watching.
everybody into oblivion. This
Yeah.
might be enough to push him over that edge to where people are playing him again. We went like almost an entire season where they didn't do anything to Jarvan at all, and then he's one of the best junglers. And it wasn't because they did anything; it's because people forgot about him. But I mean, I guess that's what happens with some champions that have been around for 4 years.
Like think of some of like the mid laners that are immobile, like you're saying, like you either blow a flash. If you're doing jungle Jarvan, like you have a Lux, you have like a Jinx or something. Any of those immobile characters, champions. Like you said, like it's really great to be able to trade an ult for a flash almost on command if you can.
Easily.
Yeah, and so these immobile mages that are making a comeback, definitely a somewhat of a counter. And now that he can maybe max E and do a little bit more damage without having to suffer for the shields and cooldown and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a huge quality of life change having that.
Also, I was thinking about, like, we were talking about the art changes, but there's a lot of times I remember playing Jarvan where you wouldn't necessarily be able to get to the squishy you actually wanted to go to, and
But you
had
get the one
ult-
close to it.
You had to ult on the tank that was peeling for him, and then you would EQ once you get in there. But now this does the AoE damage. That might be enough to kind of help him a little bit.
That's
right
advanced Jarvan tactics, though, is to R somebody then EQ out and continue
Yeah.
the fight.
Yes. I still say giving him if people are grouped up, being able to do that AoE damage. That's
Oh, sure, absolutely. If you can catch people
three.
grouped
You
up,
catch
but-
3 people, you just did an extra almost 1,000 damage that you wouldn't
Yeah.
have done otherwise. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I think that on own will bring up his win percentage to like 1 or 2%.
Yes.
And then the W thing would. I have to see how that plays out if I like E or W second.
All right, so I brought this up in chat. Or Punch, do you have something to say?
I was going to say, not stacking up when playing against Jarvan seems obvious, but it's not something I would make a very conscious effort to do like I would against a Malphite. But I think now with these changes, that's going to be something that's going to like trigger in my head immediately. Like, oh, everyone's spread out for Jarvan because you don't want to get AoE down by his ult.
God, I really want to go play top or mid lane Jarvan right now and just body slam fuckers into
You
oblivion.
can end the
not allowed.
podcast. Just do it.
No, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I want to bring this point up. I mean, I know the answer now. Punch was the one who brought this up. He knows what I'm talking about. But that's because kill lanes have always had a very soft spot in my heart.
Special place to you.
Yes, I've loved kill lanes forever, and I understand why they're not being played anymore because champions have evolved, and we champions, items, the meta, etc. have evolved, and it's a lot harder. I mean, kill lanes were brought around back in Season 2 to break the staleness of bottom lane because it was literally a stalemate.
It was just farming for as long as you could.
With
until
healing
you couldn't
supports, right?
Right. Yeah, it was healing supports or supports that could just sustain supports. That's all we had though. Like there wasn't a lot of champions, and so kill lanes came around to break up the monotony of bottom lane. But I'm curious with the way the way I look at this, and the reason I framed the question, I didn't frame the question as well as I wanted to, was that the game is evolving. League of Legends, the type of champions that are coming into it are evolving. We're seeing a lot of unique and new abilities. We're seeing new new ways to play the same type of champion, like Jhin being a marksman has a reload system and the ultimates and stuff like that. So right, we're seeing all these different abilities and this way the game's evolving. So at what point are we going to see people that are going to try to continue to break the meta? Now I do understand at a certain point in the game, like we get up to, everyone's going to play it because it's the best way to play the game, the 1-1, the 1-1-2-1, right? But if the game is evolving this way and we see more champions come in there, at what point are we going to see maybe the return of kill lanes? Because now we're able to play, two marksmen. We can play one in the jungle, we can play one in the top, we can play one in mid, whatever you want to do, right? We can do more than one marksman in the game now. So besides the fact that kill lanes can be shut down through wards and through really great team communication, when are we going to see the meta break open? Or is this kind of the start to move us in that direction?
This whole thing seems kind of like some weird Pandora's box in that I think the community as a whole has reached this point to where information is so easily available. We can go watch our favorite players play whenever we want to. We can go to websites and look up what popular builds are on certain champions. We can get into games and do a bunch of stuff that we didn't used to be able to do in the past and really plan stuff out. Like this game isn't new to the point where like every single thing is new and shiny. So people are like, okay, I'm just going to go out and innovate because we don't know what we're doing. Does this open that box that's like, okay, let's throw everything out the window. We could try other stuff out, but we're just afraid to because we're so used to doing things this long. And because when new people come into the game, they get yelled at until they conform to the way that everybody else typically plays. I don't know.
That was my roadblock. Like Punch, if you want to go ahead and talk about it, like your the theory of why it doesn't work, you're more than welcome to stop in here before I continue my thoughts. But go for it.
Well, I just wanted to bring up the point that I do think a kill lane could work. I think that becoming a standard in meta is going to be very difficult because pro play really dictates. People copy pro play.
That's exactly it.
And I don't think kill lanes are going to be a standard in pro play. I think it's something you might be able to get off one game or two by a surprise. But the problem with surprise tactics in pro play is once it's out there, everyone knows it's coming. So they're going to counter it. They're going to lane swap. They're going to ward to see where that kill lane is going. They're going to pick a safer support. They're going to do something to prevent that from working. And if the kill lane doesn't get ahead early, it's just going to get shut down. It's not going to do much late.
Right.
I think we need
Full
to start
players
from
are
the
also
beginning.
very good at fighting farms. So
I think we need to start from the beginning and-
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, I think we need to start from the beginning and define what we mean by kill lane, because I have an idea what you mean, like a Jarvan Leona or something like that back in season 2. There's a lot of new players that might, like you say kill lane, they're like, an aggressive support plus Lucian or something like that. What do you actually mean by that?
Kill lanes.
Jarvan Leona. Pantheon is one too.
Kill lanes are generally not ranged marksmen in the bottom lane. It is some kind of melee bruiser or fighter and somebody with some sort of CC or CC and high damage, or a way to amplify damage that you can, if you lock somebody down, you kill them in a rotation.
That's exactly it. It's any lane that if the enemy gets out of position in one spot and you can take advantage out of it, you either have a kill or a flash. And because you got either of those and they have to respect you the rest of the time in lane, you either get the advantage from the kill or they have to play so far back you can do whatever you want because they can't even threaten. Because if you catch them like that again, they're automatically dead and they're afraid of you.
Yeah,
I don't think it's all right. I don't think it's almost ever going to happen in solo queue. and I think it could happen in 5s.
I would
like
say
the
it
emergence of kill lanes, just because, first of all, when you get into solo queue, you have all of like 2 minutes to maybe say, hey guys, do you want to do a lane swap or even consider something like that? And when there's not really a lot of communication already, that's difficult to try to pull off. If you're talking 5s, you can maybe say, all right guys, like this could work. We can do all these things that LCS people talk about. Unless I see like the LCS start doing a massive shift in what they do and do something like kill lanes, I doubt it's going to translate into solo queue very quickly. Right. And people won't be ready to do that just on the fly, which is, I think, what would be necessary to pull that off in normal games.
But this isn't solo queue anymore. This is the era of dynamic queue.
True.
So like that solo queue means dog shit if you want to run this with one of your friends. Like if you have somebody that wants to just camp bottom lane as jungle and you want to run my favorite kill lane that Adam wouldn't agree with is a kill lane, but you want to run fucking AD, Nidalee, and Lux in bot lane and hope to God you can land a binding and just immediately murder somebody.
Dude,
it's really fun.
Sean, I really liked Lee Sin and Talon because because what was it? Was it Lee Sin amplified Talon's damage? Because Talon does more damage as long as they're slowed, and Lee Sin slows. Lee Sin Talon is one of my favorite kill lanes.
My other favorite,
Blitzcrank Shaco. That's another one.
No, Blitzcrank. It's Blitz Xerath, because if Blitz can get any hook at all, you immediately get the Xerath E.
Oh yeah,
and then they just die because they're never getting away.
I mean, that was. Do you guys remember Blitzstar?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was being
the grab, knock up, pop back in your turret.
Yes.
Or Taric but with either of those.
Yeah.
I want to do Taric Urgot with the new changes. That used to be a dumb lane. You land the stun, and then Urgot automatically lands his E for free once that stun's out, and then you are guaranteed 3 Qs.
Yeah, you're guaranteed like half of their health bar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to bring this
level 3 first, but yeah.
To bring this conversation all the way back to the beginning, and I want to point to Sean because he had pretty much the same thought I did, but framed it better. Yeah. Is that I've been struggling with this question internally for a few days, and it's because I've been trying to figure out, it's the Pandora's box, idea. Like, do I really want to try this? Do I really want to try to innovate or make this happen? Is it
do you want to be judged when you do something and it doesn't work the first time and then never do it again because you don't want to have to deal with that?
And that was the roadblock that I kept running to. Is I was like, this should work. Like, Soraka is really powerful as long as you can pick it around. You're not picking it into like Braum or somebody like that. Like, this should work pretty well. Even against Brand, it should work pretty well. But there's something stopping me from doing it. It's got to be the not wanting to open Pandora's box.
The thing that's likely stopping you is the fear of taking something that you think might be game breaking and then going into solo queue and having your teammates tilt because they don't want to deal with you thinking that you beat the game. that is exactly what it is. And
I don't think this is end-all be-all strategy by any means. I do think you have to do the champion select properly to get it to work, because if it's sniffed out at any point, you're fucked.
If you legitimately think it will work, ask your teammates if they want to run it. If they say yes, then they have no right to tilt about it afterwards.
Well, and
practice them before normals.
I'm one of those people that, like, if I get in the game with you, I don't want to see you try something that I don't think is going to be all that great, because if things go wrong, people revert back to the tried and true methods of playing a game. Look at Double Lift. For the entirety of the last 4 seasons, CLG does something, things go a little bit wrong, he goes right back to his normal style of play. That happens. But I had a guy that played Yasuo bot lane the other day as the AD carry and was dominating the entire laning phase, and we ended up losing the game eventually, but it was I was very impressed up until that point.
I would say you need a ranged carry from another lane.
I do agree with that.
Yes, you could have a Corki mid.
That's why Plum brought this up earlier, because we were seeing so many AD carries outside of bot lane.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think we said
mid lane,
that
Ezreal, Corki, Varus.
Yeah, and like I said,
that is great. Like, that is awesome. I don't want to be a person to stifle innovation, because who remembers when AP Trinity came out of nowhere and was doing great and it gained a lot of popularity?
Had to get nerfed.
It gained a lot of popularity in solo queue until it got pulled into the pro scene. Like, it came out of nowhere until it got put into the pro scene. And then as soon as it started doing well in the pro scene, that's when they nerfed it.
I saw it
Burning
for
Bush
like
Syra.
5 months, and then I saw it for a lot of months, and then I saw it on Reddit, and then a couple weeks after that, it got nerfed.
Here's the thing that people need to remember,
Goddamn
though.
age of information.
You can do so many things in solo queue that you will never see in pro play.
Oh, yeah.
And that pros would never let other people get away with because they're better than everyone else.
They
Sorry
understand
if that's a
what practice is.
newsflash. That's just how it is. But like,
Well, no, even pros in solo queue can get cheesed out. That's not the big deal.
Exactly.
It's the professional
happens.
team
The
play.
cheese has to work too. I mean,
yeah.
the cheese
I mean,
can't
there has to be
easily
something to
counter,
it, and you have to be good at
the easy
it.
Counter for this is that you outscale them, so you play really, really safe. And pros are really good at doing that when they need to. I also kind of agree and disagree with the point that we were talking about. Like maybe it'll work better in arranged teams because at the same time in solo queue you're more likely to have a disorganized bot lane that you're playing against. And if you're just duo queue and you get bot lane with your duo, and the enemy isn't on comms, and you go a kill lane,
You can
they're not-
abuse them for it.
you could
Okay,
surprise them.
you say that, but kill lane, a picture of a goose, they brought it all around. They were playing it into the pros that were on comms, and it worked very well. Granted, it was a different era, but comms.
About to say that's in the
Ages
era of
I know.
people still not knowing what's going
But
on.
kill lanes can still work against people that don't know what's going on, that are in
That's
comms
true.
together, because comms aren't the make or break. It's not like you're telling your AD carry, don't walk up there and farm, don't walk out of that position, etc. or whatever. Or
If that's the
supports.
case, then I think the best way to go about doing this, if you have a team of 5 people that want to screw around and do something interesting, fun, whatever, switch up the positions of what you would normally see certain roles playing in. So if you wanted to run that kill lane bot and you're running like a bruiser, a tank, or 2 bruisers or something else, throw your AD carry in the top lane, throw a Kindred in the jungle,
top.
out
You
the
would
top,
have to.
whatever.
Graves top, or
You'll
Kindred,
need to
Kindred
because
jungle.
you still need to ultimately round out your team. Because if your team isn't rounded out and the enemy team's is, and you guys can't win early, you're probably not going to win late.
It's a fail-safe, too.
Yes.
I was
And
thinking
again,
earlier
it's a
today-
failsafe in that when things go wrong, you can go back to the tried and true methods.
I was thinking that I don't think kill lanes have actually completely gone away. I think they've evolved from season 2.
That's
Yeah.
that. Could,
Now
a kill lane-
a
kill
kill lane
lane
would be
is-
like a Leona Lucian or a Blitzcrank Graves.
I was
It's
Great
just
for
a
like
high
a-
damage AD carry and somebody who
Right.
can lock them down long enough for the AD carry to kill
That's what a
somebody.
kill lane is now.
or like a
right?
Yes.
brand
Right.
support or a Zyra support.
Sure.
Yeah, and AP that
Or
does
Vel'Koz
the
support.
work without the carry giving a shit.
Yeah.
good discussion, guys. I liked it.
I mean, yeah.
It's a throwback to our age-old discussions of us just yelling at each other. But we agreed more, so there you go.
or Tally trying to talk over everybody. Every time Punch talks, Tally talks. It's hilarious. This entire podcast has been Punch is like, yeah.
He's probably trying to get revenge on me from maybe his first couple episodes. I'm pretty sure I shut him down.
Good.
Yeah, don't start shutting Punch down. It took us 2 years to get the guy to talk. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I got something to say, I'll probably just hang on to it for a while.
until he gets a couple drinks in him, and then he just doesn't shut up.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
what
happened
like.
once that you've seen.
I've only ever seen it once.
Yeah.
No, seriously, Punch, are you drinking Not Your Father's tonight?
I am. Good eye, sir. Good eye.
Father's root beer?
That's right.
You guys missed it a few weeks ago. I did miss one of Punch's beers that he was drinking. I think I was.
remember what it was.
I had a really good track record going on there. It was Great Lakes, the Perry, whatever it was called.
Oh, Commodore Perry?
Commodore.
Yeah, Commodore Perry.
Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah,
that it?
that sounds
Or-
Cool. All the Midwest people know all their beers that they can buy. Tally, let's go get some beers and we can talk about the Southeast.
Yeah.
Chiro looks like
Okay.
Discount Charlie from
Yeah.
Always
Yeah,
Sunny.
I'll take that as a compliment.
You do.
Those are listening. Someone in chat said Shiro looks like a discount Charlie from Always Sunny.
And now we're I asked him if he wants to play night crawlers.
Dude, I-
Well,
So
Chiro
for
does
some-
have a cat. Knowing
yeah.
Chiro's eating habits, he probably eats a cat food before he goes to sleep.
Do I use my like heater in the basement to heat up all my cat food that I just constantly am shoveling in my mouth?
How many other podcasts have we lost with the Always Sunny references?
I don't know. I think they're great.
All right. Next up on the topic, let's talk about Master Yi. We had an email come in a while ago, and I think this will be a good fun
Adam.
discussion.
Let's hear your response to the.
Well, you're wrong. That's my response.
I love it.
I don't have the email in front of me, and I apologize, but it went something like this. Hey, but I say you should build Frozen Mallet on Master Yi as his first item after Sated. My buddy says you shouldn't. Tell me why. I think it's a really good item because I gain a slow and I can do more damage while I'm attacking faster.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
And in theory, that's great. But in reality, unfortunately, it doesn't work as well as you would think it would because the main problem is the gold investment that is involved in Frozen Mallet is better spent on damage early than it is a slow life
It's
and
rather
damage.
spent trying to snowball you. Like,
Yes.
okay, here's the thing. Instead of taking 6 hits and slowing them to kill them, why don't you just kill them in 3?
Yeah.
I think it makes sense on if you're trying to 1v1 somebody all the time as Yi. Like if you were going to be dueling somebody and had to chase them down, sure, maybe, but
But that's not even
I feel
dueling. That's like
That's
a
just
the thing I think of is with
Only
Yi
thing
is
this
that
makes
he,
it better at is chasing.
They
No, that's what
shouldn't
I'm
be able to
saying.
run away from you when you're ulting. Like,
Yeah.
you should be chasing anybody down.
But he's all about fighting when you have either your team can lock people up really easily and you can just wail on them, or you come in as cleanup. And Frozen Mallet doesn't really help you in either of those situations.
I've seen it
Also,
as
yeah.
a very late buy if you need the health because they just have crazy bursts to get through, but I would not recommend buying it early.
you probably just want to buy Jerem's Fist at that point. instead
That's
anyway.
true as well.
Well, you bring that up. I saw a writer talking about a e-build earlier today, which was Sterix, Titanic, Hydra, and Deadman's Plate.
Or the tank.
And supposedly
I've
that's a
seen
strong
that too.
e-build.
Yeah.
Where he's got
Well, you
absurd
can-
amounts of HP and he's still killing people really fast.
You do a lot of
scares me.
damage. You still have a cleanup potential with Q, but when you press W, you are ungodly tanky because of all of the resistances that you get, and then you have a giant health pool. So, like, if you wanted to go the full tank build, I don't suggest it. But if you wanted to go the full tank build, it's probably not the best.
Yeah,
You
okay,
can
so
still have
normally
good
my
time.
argument against Frozen Mallet is somebody else on your team has a slow, but in the case of Yi, you're going in as cleanup, or you are 2v1ing the enemy team, and you
Or
already
if
have...
you're in by yourself, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
It's even more so that you want to get a reset off your Q, and if you get more damage instead of a slow, you'll get that reset
likely to
earlier.
do
Which
it.
also your Q gives you a dodge. You could dodge skill shots or ults with that, and it gives you more damage, which then gets you another reset, etc., etc., etc.
And don't forget about the double strike. After, what is it, 4, 5?
7.
Seven.
They might have changed it to 5. It's been a while. It used
5
to
or
be
6.
7.
Yeah, but I should know this playing, but I haven't played
I'll
Yi in a
look
really
it
long
up.
time.
Hold.
But keep in mind that the more attack speed you have, the more attacks you're getting off. I mean, that's obvious. The more double strikes
It's after
you're...
3.
It's 3.
There we go.
Wow.
See, I knew. I thought it was the fourth.
It deals 50% damage instead of,
Okay, that's
instead of
why.
a second attack.
Gotcha.
Plus,
Right.
isn't
So
your-
they just made it more frequent rather than for
yeah.
the same amount.
So the more auto attacks you're getting off, the more double
Extra
strikes
damage.
you're getting off, and the more time you have to use your E active, which doubles the AD on it as well. And so instead of slowing and trying to get, you're getting less auto attack. I mean, I guess I don't actually know. I'd have to do the math. I want to say you would get less auto attacks off because you don't have as much attack speed as if you had a stack Ginsu's. That somebody would need to math that, but. Essentially, you just try to do tons more damage as quickly as you can, and you can use W as an auto attack reset if you didn't know that already. You W right click and then you W right click to move, and then you right click on the person to get the auto attack. You have to do it really fast to get it, but you can auto attack reset to get that double strike really fast. And plus, Sated Devourer is proccing that double strike twice.
Yeah, like
So
if you have another attack speed item instead of phase, like I said, you're getting more alpha strikes off because you have more damage, and you're also getting more alpha strikes off because every auto attack you lower its cooldown, which is your dodge. Or if you really need to slow, I'd rather go Bork or something. I don't know.
I mean, just get
He used to go Bork all the time. I know it's not a
Yes,
common build
yeah.
path, but
And that was a piece of it
buy
too.
Yumus if you really want to go faster and you want some armor
can do
penetration
that.
and stuff. You can always buy Yumus. But right now his build is sated into Ginsu's Rageblade, into likely Jerem's Fist, into
Frozen
Steric's
Mallet is
Gauge,
good for
but-
sticking, and he already has no problem at all doing that.
Yeah, not when he passes.
Yeah, he's immune to
presses ult.
slows.
Yeah,
when he ults.
exactly.
Like the only thing you have to worry about is a stun, and they
You could dodge out with your Q.
That's exactly right.
and LBL discussion. Frozen Mallet, maybe 6th item Yi, but still.
Yeah,
not a
like
good
if
item.
they're tanky enough to be able to run away, and you just really, really want to keep chasing them, or you just need that
Or if
little
you need-
extra piece of health pool.
Heal? I don't know. But
I don't know.
In other words,
see, we're making
again!
a stretch. Yeah, we're making like a real
we're
stretch.
we're
to justify
trying
it.
to we're trying to find a nice little box that we can.
Which would tell
neatly
you
put
that it
this into.
definitely shouldn't be 2nd item, which
Yeah.
is what the question was.
Yeah. And honestly, if you do need that health pool, Sterix fills that role with giving you a shield now.
Good
So
Sterix.
Or if you're the 5 item Yi, I'd rather see a GA almost. So by the time you
I'd
revive
rather
your
see you
Qs back
killing
up-
the enemy team because
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
is
just kill
your
them all.
point of strength.
Yeah, I know we had
Actually,
the
so-
Germs for GA discussion, but
The best thing about this tweet that I saw earlier today, I can't find the response tweets to it now, but there were people saying that, oh yeah, 4K HP on Yi is fine, but he still dies when he dives into 5 people by himself. I mean, 4K HP is nothing in that situation. Don't be those people, listener. Don't be the person that dives into 5 people and then complains when you die, because
Even if you had 6k HP, you shouldn't necessarily be diving into 5 people.
no one should be able to dive in alone and get a pentakill.
Right.
Otherwise, we got problems.
Yeah.
I don't
Be
know.
smarter, man.
I've seen some Master Yi's pull off
smarter,
some stupid
people.
shit, but they're still not diving into 5 people to do it. They're going into like 3 max.
I bet those people deleted those tweets, and that's why I can't find them now. There was like 2 or 3 of them. I'm like, what?
What do you? I've always been curious, Punch. You have a what do you have? You have a tablet sitting next to you, right?
I got an iPad, yeah.
So do you sit there on Twitter and Slack and stuff on your iPad then?
Yep. Periodically check throughout the day.
is that a gong?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know about
You've
this?
been listening
Oh,
since
boy.
episode like 9,
I
and you
haven't
don't
heard
know
the
about the
gong in a
goddamn
while.
gong.
I
It's back there.
never
I feel it
imagined.
needs
It
to
looks
be-
like the ones I had in
or-
high school band. So
I think it needs to be used for a good occasion.
Tally was in high school
Probably
band.
is.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Hey,
I think it was the #1 gong
Gang,
bestseller on Amazon.
yeah, Tally, I
Thank-
know.
Serial was in Serial. That doesn't surprise me either that you were in band.
yeah, we're all freaks now.
We both captained dodgeball kickball teams. That's how
Yeah.
you know. That's
God, that does
the
not
path
surprise
that,
me in the least.
yeah.
Well, I guess Punch. You're gonna have to move the pillow and hit the gong tonight because it has to be done.
Right now.
This is my initiative.
Yeah, you might as well hit it. You know what? This is the guys. This is the gong, the fabled. Here it comes. Done.
Great form.
It is.
If you
That was
missed it,
awesome.
check it out live. That was great
Yeah.
form.
Wow,
Thank
that
you.
was fantastic.
Good thing you're
I
not in
love
your
gong
apartment anymore.
practice.
Hey, so before, because I know this is quickly devolving into not at all league talk, I did check that Soraka thing with wind speakers.
Yeah.
The W when it's the Q buff when it's transferred counts as a heal for wind speakers, so you will be getting that armor and magic resist constantly refreshing. It obviously doesn't affect you. How wind speakers reads is that it affects allies only for the armor and magic resist, but you will get 10% more healing yourself. So, by that token, Ardent Censor should proc the same way and keep up that buff just as long,
that
and
sounds
stop
really
and start
OP.
ticking and start actually ticking down once you get to the last tick of the rejuvenation.
Soraka Kog'Maw coming.
That
incoming.
sounds really fucking OP. Like Ardent Censor Rush on Soraka.
I think it would kind of depend. I think it would be
more
a
like
good
a third item type. Of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. It's that's kind of a rough. I'd say that if you're playing Soraka and you need to, if you have somebody like Kog'Maw, you almost have to go Mikhail's. I feel like just to get more CC off of them.
To
But
save
yeah,
your parry.
yeah. But if you have an attack speed based team, like Ardent Censor seems insanely good. Just because you just throw that on like your top lane Tryndamere and your AD carry,
Or your
and
Jackson
suddenly-
before he dives in.
or that, or your Master Yi before he dies in at 4K
That's
HP
right.
and then
With
dies.
Frozen Mallet.
But he got some extra. He's got some extra attack speed while he does it. But
Does
you have
And
to
we'll
your
have a
Q
bunch
first,
of
boys.
MR and armor.
Okay, the next question I have here is: if I put regeneration on somebody and I am max life, does my regeneration go away, or does it still continue to tick at the rate it would tick? So if I was to take damage, would it tick and would I gain my life back? Because you can't use
Yes.
potions when you're at full life.
Yeah, but this is a buff.
yeah, but you can still like some you can still proc like corrupting potion. You can proc at full life just because there's a benefit to doing it.
Fair.
That's what I was saying earlier is that you would get that benefit that you could use, like you would still benefit from it after you've used your W, and that would put you down in life a little bit, but then you'd get that regen bringing you back up.
Which might help because if you do get in range of Q, you're probably open to return fire.
And then you run away 50% faster.
Yeah!
Assuming you hit it. And trust me, it was not easy to hit those bots because I haven't played.
No. It's harder to hit you think, yeah.
Well, I think that is going to wrap up this discussion unless anybody else on the podcast here has something that they are just dying to talk about. Nope, that is a resounding nope. We are good. We're going to go play with one of our patrons, guys. Monday. I don't know what is happening Monday yet. I will figure that out over the next week. Again, March 26th, please come around, twitch.tv/TForce Podcast, roughly 5 to 6 o'clock Eastern Time. We will be playing. I will have the exact numbers on a website, everything taken care of early next week, so you can find that out, trinityforcenetwork.com. As well, Wednesday, we are having a $100 Patreon, and he has promised to make this an episode we will not forget. And I told him he has big shoes to fill because Joe Morrissey already fills that piece of my heart.
Wow.
It's his dick.
Yeah, he fills a certain slot on it.
He would say that, and I'm just saying
yeah,
it for
he
him.
would. Well, earlier he said that he was going to put a Craigslist ad out to find somebody to throw shit at Cereal Box the entirety of PAX. So
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, what was
I
it?
didn't see this.
I was talking about neck tattoos, and somebody said you should get the trash Mitch emote tattooed onto your neck.
Yep.
I
Yep, there it is.
said no, I'm going to get it tattooed on my ass because that's where shit comes out of. And then he said he's going to put a Craigslist ad out to find somebody to throw shit at him the entire
He
time.
said, I'm going to post a Craigslist ad for a skinhead to throw human shit at you. Obi-Wan Kenobi told me to.
I don't even know why, but I love that guy. He's fucking hilarious.
I'm like scared. I feel like here's the thing. I can see that happening once I get there. I can also see it happening on my flight because somehow you guys would have set this up like even beforehand. You're like, guys, I know where he's at. So that's the itinerary. We know where he's coming from. Let's plant the mole. Let's go.
Hawk is actually in the chat. He's like, "Oh God, why? Don't put me on the shot." Well, you got big shoes to fill.
If you're not a skinhead, then I'm gonna be a fan of you, Hawk. So if you're the one who answers this ad, I'm gonna be really.
Oh, this podcast just got really dicey. Sponsors, I'm sorry, we don't actually endorse any of this. Oh, Jesus Christ!
These were just threats that were made at our
intra network
idle threats.
Yeah.
All right, that's episode number 342 of the Trinity Force podcast. Thank you for listening and supporting us. I hope you enjoy our discussion. We will see you all on Monday for a new podcast. Peace.
See you guys.
Later.